Win the incredible Steigercraft, Evinrude, Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package, and more in the Fisherman's 2018 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details at thefisherman.com.
Tautog, tog, blackfish, white chins, it doesn't matter what you call them. It all changes this Friday, November 16th. We are back to a 5-fish bag limit in New Jersey. So we're about ready to get that hunt back on along the reefs, wrecks, and snags along the Jersey shore. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. Just doing my own shopping here, picking up a couple of S&S tog jigs here at Gabriel Tackle in Brick. And I was talking to Frank today, and he said in this particular area, he's saying the Seagirt Reef is probably going to be the hottest bet this Saturday and Sunday. I say that because Friday is going to be a tough weather day. But if you get out there, find the crowd, that's for sure. People have been waiting for this for quite a while. So Seagirt Reef is one location. Also, it's surprising that there's still a good amount of tog right here in the canal, the Point Pleasant Canal. Also along many of the jetties throughout the Jersey shore. So that's kind of cool to hear. Down in South Jersey, I spoke to Sean Riley from Waterfront Marine. He suggested getting out about 50 or 60 foot depths if you're fishing off of Cape May County. He said that's the way it's going to be until the crowds and the cold arrive, push those fish and the best fishing a little bit deeper. But a lot of folks are turning to these jig heads. You know, that's been pretty cool in the last couple of years, in that the tog jigs are driving people to a brand new tactic for fishing for these blackfish, right? You lighten up the line. You're going with braid that's less than 20-pound braid, 15 to 20-pound braid, 3000 series reels that are full of torque, plenty of drag, hardcore reels, and of course turn into those slow pitch style spinning outfits. But it's pretty cool to think that you can get on these boats and get down on that structure using spinning tackle and using the white leggers or the green crabs. I know this weekend, if you're a white legger or a green crab, it's not the good weekend for you here at the Jersey shore. They're going to be in hot demand. And so too will be the open boats and the charters. If you haven't called to book yourself a charter for the tog season, I suggest you do it as soon as possible because those boats are going to get busy. And again, we talked about the weather. More stiff westerlies on Friday. Pretty big heave too. And after another rainy and blustery Thursday, Friday we'll see that heave, but maybe it's time for surfcasters to get in on it and get some of those heavy bucktails. You're definitely going to need some heavy weight if you're fishing out front. Now, in the past week in the surf, especially Central Jersey here, from Manasquan down to Island Beach State Park, it's been a lot of smaller fish. And a lot of smaller fish means it's time to scale back. A little bit of lighter tackle and also go with that lighter line, but also the teasers. Teasers have been getting it done. Just behind some of those thinner profile imitations. You know, your thin metals, your deadly dicks, the Avas, of course the Kettle Creek swing shads, or the Patriot fish, you know, finesse, sand eel imitations. I've been told regarding those sand eels, there are plenty of them offshore. In fact, that's what some of the big fish are on a little bit farther south of here. A lot of sand eels. If you think back, it's been a few years. 2011 was when we had that last big sand eel blast with the striped bass. Hopefully, with some of this offshore wind, it'll push some of the cooler water temperatures in. Maybe we'll get those sand eels coming in. But we've got a few weeks, few months, another month on that. Remember, the sand eel bite back at that time was well into December. But if those sand eels are out there, you would expect some of those big critters too, right? How about this one? A big bluefin beached himself on the beach in LBI this week, according to Greg at Fisherman's headquarters. The other big thing that hit the LBI beaches this past weekend, we talked about it last week. Somebody was going to get those big fish on the beach. It turned out to be Long Beach Island and the Long Beach Island Surf Derby, where Chris Messino nabbed the top slot now, 43.06 pounds. South end of LBI, bunker chunk, Friday, weighed that in at Jingles Bait and Tackle. And it seems like those fish appear to now be spread too from Brigantine down into Cape May County. In fact, Jim Folk, he jigged a 47.2 pounder just inside a Sea Isle lump. Earlier this week, weighed that in at Fanatics in Ocean City. Meanwhile, a little farther south, down off of Cape May, Kevin and Max brought this 53-pounder in earlier this week to Jim's Bait and Tackle. Now, there's another wave of good fish, maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4, coming down behind this one, farther to our north. I talked to Akira from True World Tackle in Bayonne. He said his customer Brandon Yarashewicz trolled up this 56.5-pounder at Ambrose Channel using an umbrella rig. Go figure, it's been a while on that. Tackle Box 2 had Chumbox Mike come in with a pretty good fish. Got on him last week as well. Now don't think you have to have fiberglass under your feet in order to catch some of those big fish. You will have to be willing to put in some overtime though. Chris Carvelis here caught and released this 54-pounder up in Monmouth County, middle of last week during that new moon, caught it on a 9-inch mega shad and an S&S jig head. Now, from being a pedestrian surf caster like I often do this time of year, but if you want to Uber yourself into some good fish, you have plenty of opportunity too. Get on your buddy's boat or on a charter. Some of the boats that are right out of Manasquan here and off of Point Pleasant down in Island Beach, they're on a lot of those bunker schools. They're livelining, they're shadding. And of course you can't go wrong if you're doing the troll. If you're trolling those Tony Majas spoons or the mojos and those plugs as well. Those are also a good surefire way of getting on some big fish. Of course, if you don't want to do a charter, you can also take mass transit, right? Jump on the bus. Those party boats too, like the big Mohawk out of Shark River, they're also on those stripers as well. So you jump on board with a bunch of other people you don't even know, have a blast, but they're also getting them livelining and also jigging. So that jig bite is there. Don't forget those white shads and those bunker imitations. You can usually catch some stripers under the schools by jigging up through them. We do have plenty of nearshore options right now. Those humpbacks, for example, 100, 120 feet of water, depending on which snags you're working and in which part of the state you're fishing. But if you're looking for local, up-to-the-minute fishing reports, I'd advise this time of year to stop into your tackle shop quite often. You stop into Gabriel Tackle because it's hot one minute, it's off the next. The more intel you can get, the better off. The more you stop into your local tackle shop, the better off you are. And of course, the more you log into thefisherman.com as well. We've got up-to-the-minute reports there. All the weekly reports. In fact, any news that's breaking, like that big meeting this week that's overseas talking about big eye tuna. If you saw the email alert earlier the week, Matt Bell was in that picture with that nice big eye, and that was taken by his father John. But big eye is in the crosshairs. We've got the full story over at thefisherman.com, so stay in tune with that. We're about a week off from Thanksgiving. Of course, family and friends are going to be back for the holidays. It's a great time of year. Father and son, daughters, moms, get everybody out on the beach for Thanksgiving. But don't want to forget about that surf turkey tournament next week, just down the road a little bit over at Charlie's Bait and Tackle. You only have until Tuesday, November 20th, so get the family registered and get out there on the beach next week for Thanksgiving. Good luck tog fishing this weekend. Catch them up. We'll see you again next week with our Thanksgiving weekend report right here at thefisherman.com.
These are called the banana heads. So they're heavier, so they actually sit perfectly in the water down.